Hey everyone, let me know if you can hear me so we can see who we got on and then we can get started. Hoping that we got a lot of people on today. That would be nice. I'm going to pause the video here that I have of me. Running it on the side just so I can get an easier count of who's here and who's not here. Yeah, there we go. All right. So, hey everyone, welcome back to Bear's Workshop. We are here for the 150th Flyover with live stream commentary. So we see we got a bunch of people on. I can see at least 32, which is awesome. Going to go look at a couple questions, give people a couple minutes to get in, and then we'll get started with today's video. Trey Perez had asked what time will the Lucid live be. We do that every Wednesday, and that's usually about 3 or 4 p.m. Pacific time. We don't have a set time for it yet. Got a couple of highs, Fruit Lab, Leviathan, Sebastian. They all say hi. Steven, let's hope Nicola is back from vacation. What is a brutal inactivity gap since TTSI? Yeah, well, we're going to look at that in a couple minutes. Glenn Phillips is here. He says greetings. Octavio is here. Yes, we need more deliveries. Yes, that is something that we really need. We're going to talk about in a couple minutes. And what I think is going to make the stock price soar. And I got an idea of what we really need. Anyone worked out a delivery number for Nicola to be profitable? That's a good question. I think we're several years off from Nicola being profitable. But I'd love to see if somebody wants to figure that one out. Tyler, Happy New Year, everyone. May Nicola skyrocket like we all know they can. Don't Care is here. Stephen, no news is that what you mean? Yeah, there's a lack of news, but Nicola's been like that for quite a while, and for reasons that I've discussed in a video several months ago, why is Nicola so quiet? If you guys wondering why they're so quiet, in my opinion, that's what that video is about. And Stephen says, yes, we can hear you. Milton sounds good. And then I have some sort of emoji that I can't read from the Artisan Well. Let's see. Big Bear Dog is in the building from Ogden. Thanks, Bear, for your support. From Sebastian, howdy, congratulations. It's me, says what's up, Bear, and a couple of hellos. Let's see, loud and clear. Mike is a little quiet. Maybe that's me. Maybe I should scoot up. Or you can turn your volume up. That is always one of those crazy things that you can do. Scott says Tesla stock is crazy today. Nicola needs a bump. Yes. So before I start the video, let me tell you what I think. We got a decent amount of people here. We got about 65 people. What I think will bump up the stock is when these a TTSI or the other one was a Henrik or I forgot the name of the other one. But once TTSI has their two, if they turn around in, let's say, a month after of testing and say they have a letter of intent for 100 of these vehicles, if they say, yeah, let's go ahead with the rest, I think that is something that will not only help the stock, but also help get more orders. Because there's other people sitting on the sidelines, probably waiting to see, let TTSI do the testing. And if they do the testing and it works out, they're going to be like, all right, well, now we'll do the testing. And they'll start placing their orders. But I think there's going to be more orders coming real soon, probably within the next month. If you guys heard that interview with Brady, he said that there are other orders in the works. He also talked about production and that with this second phase, once it's done, which is phase 1, that they have the capability of doing 2,500 trucks a year. But what's going to hold them back is supply constraints. So we'll, if you haven't seen that video, take a look at it. It's on YouTube, but it's unlisted. So I'll have to find the link and get it in the description. Okay. Fruit Lab. I have my volume all the way up. Can't hear much. iMelt says sounds loud and clear. Let's see. JKM. I am the Green Hour Investor on Twitter. Oh, well, that's good to know. I might forget that, but that's good to know who you are on Twitter. Juggernaut. I'm assuming that's what that's supposed to mean. If they are burning through $6 million cash a year, I think they need 2,220 deliveries a year to break even. 555.5 trucks per quarter. I don't know if that is that just like a rough estimate or you guessing. The Brady and Dan Ives interview put out recently was a must watch if you haven't watched. Yes, it is. And I'm probably going to watch it again. So let's get started with the flyover video for today. And we can talk about those items that we see. And I'm going to tell you straight up, right out of the bat, it was dead there today. They are still on vacation. There weren't any employee cars in the parking lot. There was some construction going on, though. Those guys were working. You know, it's not a large crew, but the guys are out there and they were working. And Sebastian asked a good question. How long is the testing? I don't know how long it is. That would be good information to know. But part of the order was with, I think, TTSI is that they would take additional trucks this year. So they can't wait until September or August. They want to get them this year. And Tyler, thank you for the super chat. And Tyler mentioned Kim. What Kim mentioned hydrogen production and how people underestimating the potential. What do you think? I'm starting to become a believer in hydrogen, looking at the different numbers of what it costs to convert the water using electricity, and the deal that Nicola has tells me that they can really start putting it out. You can see here in the video, there's still a massive amount of water around. It had rained, I think it was Friday night, and it had also rained earlier in the week, which is not so bad normally, but for any other place. But here you can see a lot of standing water. You can see right here, this retention basin's filled in with water. Here's where it's been set up for the water to drain, but because there's no pavement here, the water doesn't drain. Or all the water doesn't drain. But we've got a lot of water all around the site. So here's are just panning across. And I still believe that they're waiting for some utility work to be done before the asphalt can be put down. They have to get some electricity out there for both power poles and chargers. Phil Davis says, what's the orders for Freightliner and Mack trucks? Will Nikola survive? I think they'll survive. I think there's plenty of room for BEV and FCEV vehicles. I don't know if Freightliner will be able to get them out. I don't know how far behind they are. And we're going to interrupt that comment for this. These are 10 more frames that we just noticed last week. And I don't remember who it was, but one of the viewers pointed out that there was more frames, because there's 14 more that we're going to see right after this. But this is a pile of 3, 3, 3, and 1. And they've been sitting there for a while, but we just couldn't make them out with the old drone. So now that we have the new drone, we're starting to see things that we just haven't seen, which is great. But I wish I had known they were there. And I started going back and looking through videos, and they've been there for a couple of weeks at least. I didn't find out when they put it in. But having the frames out there, I think, is great, because you've got 10 there. Now we're panning over to the others. And you can see how good this drone is, by the way, because you could barely make out what you're looking at over there. And then we're going to zoom in, and then the light correction goes in. But there's 14 frames right there. So we know we have 24 frames. And as soon as these frames start going in, it's going to tell us that another production vehicle's got to be done, because they have to fit it somewhere on the line. So that's going to be a way for us to measure the production. Once we start seeing these frames disappear, hopefully we can keep an eye on it enough that we see when new ones are brought in. And if we can figure that out, at the very least, we're going to have a very minimum amount of what the production is. Bourne says, Kim Brady said it's LOIs that are already signed and soon will be announced. Yes, that's what I was talking about before. And that's going to help the stock price. But I think the thing that's going to help it the most is when one of these companies who's doing the testing says, yeah, this is great, we'll take the other 100. So that will make a huge difference, because that's a proof of concept that we're all looking for. Here we're looking at the security building on the left, and something else we still haven't figured out what that other thing is. And yes, I'm still waiting on site plans from the city of Coolidge. I had requested them and haven't gotten anything back yet. Down here in the battery building, you can see the semi there. That's at the dock, dropping off supplies. For all we know, they could be dropping off frames. I think a frame would fit in there. They could be dropping off batteries. That's supposed to be the battery storage building, which is supposed to be separate from everything else. So they could have battery packs being unloaded. We just can't tell, obviously. Brady said they were LOIs being wrapped up and be announced shortly. And JKM 14 plus 10. Yep, that's what it is. 24 frames sitting out there. And we just need to see some of them go away. So on Saturday, we noticed this Nikola tray BEV parked right up against the tent out there, and no apparent reason, but that's where it sits. Not a big deal. That was our Facebook follow us. If you get a chance, you could follow us on Facebook. Not much action goes on there. We just pretty much use it to post our listings. Got a good zoom in there of the US DOT number, if you can read that. There we go. Got a little bit of zoom. It'll be in the other video if you want to pause it there and take a look. If there's some sort of research that can be done on that, that would be interesting. Let's see. Freight has electric with only 150 miles of range. They are a joke buddy. So Don't Care is not a fan of a Freightliner. And 150 miles of range on a semi-truck is ridiculous. It's not even worthy of the ports. The ports, they need more range than that. Here we're getting a look at, we've got a guy there with the left. He's got the compactor, and the compactor is used to pound in the dirt so that the dirt doesn't settle after they repave that, because they've got pipes underneath there. And let's see, who else do we got here? We got Arne. Happy New Year from Norway. Happy New Year from Arizona. Don't Care. Tesla is the only competition that I'm worried about. You know what? Tesla's decent competition when they get their semi out, of course. But we need to have competition. I'm all for Tesla semis. I'm all for Nikola semis. There is no way that one company is going to dominate, or there is no way one company should dominate over the long term. I mean, Tesla's dominating the EV industry right now, but you need to have competition. If you don't, it's going to, whoever the leader is, they're going to get stagnant, and then someone's going to come along and just take the crown from them. So the competition needs to be on par with each other. That way they're fighting for customers. If they're not fighting for customers, we end up not making progress. JKM says TTSI has been raving about Nicola on their Twitter. They are super happy and impressed with Nicola. That's great so far. Hopefully that's not just something that they're putting out there. So anyway, we got right here, we are looking at, let's back this up just a bit here. This is the Dynamometer building. I hate that word. Still hate it. Let's get that off there. So you can see the building structure is coming along. It's got a little bit of water in it, but you can see all those pipes that they got going on right there. It's all the utility pipes for everything that needs to be there. And I have been told, and I may have mentioned this before, but outside of this building, probably somewhere around here, is going to be a hydrogen stack. We've seen the temporary hydrogen fueling station that they have, but this is going to be where their hydrogen stack is going to be. And I don't know if they're going to fill them up right there, or if they're going to have a line leading somewhere else piped in where they can just fill up the hydrogen. And I would imagine that this is going to be connected to a station that is going to be able to fill them up in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, because the one that they have now takes an hour. And they said they want one with a high pressure 700 bar, which is a lot of pressure. Okay, let's see. Tyler, BEV and Tesla won't compete. They won't be able to compete with the price of hydrogen. 2.5 cents times about 45 to 50 kilowatts to make a kilogram of hydrogen is $1.12 to $1.25 per kilogram for hydrogen production. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, there's going to be different uses for these vehicles, and some are going to be better in other places. You could have battery stations that are run on renewables where the cost is going to be a lot less. You could have hydrogen stations that are also just running on water and electricity that are powered by renewables like solar and wind, and they could be less. I think the price changes on these things are going to change quickly in the future. Don't care says, right, when Nikola brings the FCEV to market, they will all be dead. Possibly, but like I said, I think there's places for different types of trucks in the market. Melt says Lucid and Nikola to the moon. I'm going to stop for a drink. See, we're panning on the north side. It's amazing how quickly they got that last section in there on phase 1. All they really need is this door, the small door and the big door, and those can go in just a few hours if they have it. But I don't think they're going to put in yet because they have so much to move in there. It's better not to have that door yet. But yeah, that went together pretty quickly. And that's what they're going to be using to actually complete the production line. And there will be one full line going through there. I think it's going in a U shape from one end to the other. Let's see here. We're going to pause it right there. Take a look at some of the comments. Who's holding how many stocks? That's what Ogden says. I'll see if anybody's going to answer. Ogden said he's sitting on 12,000 K of stocks at around $15. I'm probably sitting on, between my wife and me, we're sitting on probably now about 1,200 shares of Nikola, and our cost basis is about $10.10, maybe 15 cents. So that's where we're sitting at right now. So I'm waiting for something to pop on this. I'm waiting to hear something like TTSI saying, hey, we're going to go ahead and take the rest of the order. And then I might cash in because I do things like that. Okay, so here we've got a look of the production equipment that's over here. Then we're going to zoom in on that a little bit later. First, let's take a look at those guys on the roof. What are they doing? They are loading up the bales of the roofing material. So you can see them right there. They are lifting them up with a crane. There's a couple guys up there, and they're stacking them up, and they're going to be laying that stuff out. And let's get this building waterproofed because we're getting rain. Here we go. We're looking at the production equipment right now. But before we do that, let's see the chat's starting to get away from me. I want to make sure that we got these questions or comments mentioned. If you have electric cars, you will need a generator for when the power goes out. I bought Cummins stock for FCE and generators. Yeah, I have a Cummins generator that breaks all the time. I hate it. I just actually sold it it was part of the RV that I had, and that was but they had a good warranty on it, but it burned a lot of oil. But I know Cummins is a good company, and I got a lot of respect for them. I know I said that generator wasn't good, but I still have Cummins products. I have them probably sitting not 50 feet from me. I've got another Cummins generator. Let's see. Smart Man Deeps, I've always knew that would be an issue. That just goes back to renewables, and Tesla handles that in the same way. They sell solar, they sell the battery management system with the Powerwall, and if you have those items, you could still charge your car. It's not going to be that big of an issue. The power is not going to go out for that long. And I really believe that in the apocalypse that might be coming with the zombies, I would rather have an electric car than have a gas-powered car, because I can generate electricity easier than I can produce gas. And gas goes bad after a while, so 3 years into the zombie apocalypse, your gas-powered car is not going to work. So I'm totally on board with electric for the zombie apocalypse. Same thing with hydrogen. You're not going to be able to produce hydrogen very easy. So let's keep that in mind for the apocalypse. Let's see. Bourne says there's 10 million trucks that need to be electrified in the US and EU alone. The market is more than big enough, and Nikola got both BEVs and FCEVs. I agree with that 100%. The market is absolutely big enough for several different manufacturers. Brady said 2 times in the interview, the market is not fully appreciating yet Nikola's ability to produce hydrogen at such cost. If Build Back Better is passed in some form, it will be a gold rush for Nikola. Yeah, but they need to parse that stuff down to actually... They've mixed the climate stuff with too much other stuff. And as far as anything goes with the government, they wrap all these things into a giant bill so that they can get everyone to vote. My personal opinion, I've said this before, is that you take one item, you vote on one item, and that's how you do it. If it's worthy, people will vote for it. If it's not, don't try and stick it into another bill. This guy says, I plan to buy shares of this company at the end of this month. I don't know if I'd wait. Just not sure I'd wait. I could be wrong. I'm not financial advice, and I'm going to try and stay non-biased. I just think that Nikola is at a low point for the stock, and I think we've got some good things coming, and I'm going to try and take advantage of that in the stock market. JKM, 17,000 shares at $11 and change. Nice. That's a lot of shares. BBB must fail. They just need to pass an EV bill, but government is dumb. That's a 100% correct opinion right there. My opinion is that it's a 100% correct opinion. Chris says 1,000 shares at $11. You're right about where I'm at. Agnes says, wow, very, very good. Big Bear. JKM, you're in the green today, Bear. Yes, I am. Tyler, are you a long-term shareholder, or would you sell if the stock popped? I would probably sell. I just see Nikola so volatile right now that if I saw it at 15, I'd sell. I'd wait for it to dip again and maybe buy it again. But I'm really not good at that. I'm really good at buying at the peak and selling at the drop. So don't take my advice, please. JKM, cash in after one pop, Bear. Come on, serious? Yeah. Let's see. I'm waiting for them to do an offering. They have to be running out of money. No, they still have a lot of their line of credit left, and from my understanding, that was increased. It was originally like 300 million, and I read a couple of different things that said one said it was increased to 600. Tunham doubled it, and then I saw something else that said 800, but I'm not sure if that was correct or just the press misprinting stuff. So they've got that line of credit, and it will help them out a lot if the stock goes up, and then they say, hey, we need some money, because then they give out less stock. So it makes it more valuable if the stock goes up, and because that's what they're exchanging on that equity line that they have. They sell stocks back, so at a 3% discount. So if the stock goes up to $15 and they say we need $100 million, Tunham will get the equivalent of $100 million worth of stock at a 3% discount. Let's see. So yeah, Deeps, I don't think that they're running out of money yet. I do think that it's definitely going to be an issue for them in the future if they don't secure additional financing, because this company is not going to be profitable for a while. It's just the way startups are. It's not a knock on them. It's just the way things are. And with the supply issues in the world today, it's going to take time, and that's what Kim Brady was saying is going to slow them down. Is supply issues. They're going to have production capacity after this phase is done of 2,500 units per year but they're not going to be able to produce that because of supply issues. Let's start rolling the video again, since I'm dragging this 11 minute video into 25 minutes. So some of the stuff that we're looking at here, I'm going to pause it. It's still boxed up. This stuff was delivered months ago, and we originally thought it was going to go into the first building, but they put it on the side. They put tarps on it. Tarps blew off. But a lot of this stuff is just production equipment, and it's going to go into that next phase, and they just have to finish their work inside, and then they're going to start moving this in and start assembling what they need to assemble. I don't know what a lot of this stuff is. I'm looking at it. I mean, there's probably a bunch of cranes in there, like this thing right here, this orange thing with the wheel. That looks like an overhead crane. Maybe they'll use something like that for flipping the chassis over, because whenever they start working on the chassis, those frames that you see outside, they're upside down, and they assemble everything that goes on the bottom, and then a type of crane will pick it up and flip it over. So that could be what that's for. But the rest of this just looks like metal structures, and it's just going to be part of the production line. Then we got some nice pipes that have been sitting there for a while also. Let's see. What other comments do we have? Yeah, there's a look at the water campus. We didn't fly out. We just zoomed in because there's no changes over there. My friend has a solar Powerwall. Tesla works great for him. Paid off his mortgage car on Tesla options. That's awesome. Ogden's hoping to see at least $50 and above. That would be great if that happened. You know, of course, you have to kick myself for getting out of it. Pan BEV nice. When will the hydrogen station be completed? Yeah, you tell me. The hydrogen stations are being worked on by other companies that they've partnered with. And whether or not we get one here in Coolidge at this site, couldn't tell you right now. It's been on and off the table. So, don't know. Diamond hands, Bear? JJ, I don't even know what that means. Diamond hands? There's no diamonds. I don't know what that means. You have to explain that to me. Sasha, Happy New Year, Bear. I agree wholeheartedly regarding the BBI. Thank you. I love when people agree with me. Check out this shot. This was, we came up and then we were just moving in the same spot, but we weren't moving any closer. We were just to zoom in and not flying towards that. If we were, we'd be going super fast. But yeah, that's just a zoom in on the mountains. It just looks good, so that's why we did it. And this is a list of all our patrons. We've got a bunch of new ones on here. Brandon L is new. Terry is new. Brian and James, I believe, are new. And that's just since our last video. But we've got quite a few new patrons. We're trying to get more patrons in order to support more flyovers of Lucid. We don't fly out there on Mondays, so we are trying to get more patrons. So if any of you guys are also Lucid fans, we would appreciate signing up as a patron to help support this channel. It's not free. Our time is not free. Well, it is because we're giving it away, but we'd like to see if we can recoup some of our costs for going out there as much as we do. Still doing Nicola 3 times a week, but we want to increase how many times we go to Nicola. Let's see what else. I'm going to just replay the video and go through these comments a little bit more. Ogden, what happened to the other 23 trucks that were supposed to be delivered by New Year's? See, now, Kim Brady said the same thing that I said. When they said up to 25 trucks, they worded that very carefully. I've said that before, and Kim Brady said that in his interview. Up to means they can do up to, but one is still within 25. So they didn't promise 25. They promised that they would get up to. And so that's where they got. 2 is the best I can figure out. I think they would have announced if there were more. 2 is low, but they did deliver them. So it's a good start for that. I doubt BBB will pass. Mention in your state senator Sinema aren't agreeing to it. Well, that's because she got a personal letter from me that said, don't do it. No, I didn't send her a letter. Deep, so they have $600 million in the bank. It's not in the bank. It's there when they need it, though. Pan, what's Pan going to say now? I'm waiting for Trevor Milton to install more solar panels on its cell roof. Then Nicola will double its revenue. Pan, I just want to let you know, Trevor Milton is no longer with Nicola as of September of 2020. He was fired. Even though they say he resigned, he was fired. And Nicola has agreed with the SEC to pay $125 million for letting him be a blabbermouth. So he is no longer there. He is also been placed under arrest. So he's not associated with this company anymore. He was placed under arrest, charged with 3 different counts of nonsense. And he's more than likely going to be convicted unless he takes a plea agreement. But they are also asking for about $1 billion worth of restitution from the SEC. And Nicola is looking for $125 million worth of restitution. So you can talk about Trevor all you want, but he's no longer part of this company. Unfortunately, the one thing that is always going to stick around is when you look up Nicola on Google, and it always is going to say founder Trevor Milton. But that's all you got. That's all you got. JJ, stock will pop once hydrogen stations break ground. Could be. But I don't think that they're even building them yet because they're not planning on producing them till next year. So I think that if they're, there's just going to be a delay on that. Rail, dear Bear, may the new year bless you with health, wealth, and happiness. Thank you, Rail. Bjorn, sorry, I keep saying that name wrong. When do you think they'll start asphalting the parking lot? Would be logical. If it was finished when phase 1 is officially completed, the complex would look more like a real factory then. I agree with you, but I know that the holdup is that they're waiting to get some utilities put in for charging stations and for power. Though the power could possibly be in, because I know they got power in a lot of different spots there for the power poles, but I heard that it was for the charging stations that utility was not put in yet, and it was a supply issue. So that's what we're waiting on. That's what I heard. I thought we pay for the BBB with a tax only on the super rich, which I agree with. Well, that's getting into a little bit of too much politics. So I'm not gonna respond to that. Tyler says, Kim said Nicola and TC Energy are working on plans for up to 10 hydrogen stations in between 100 to 200 tons per station. That is exactly why I won't sell for years. It's a good idea. Hubs, not stations. Okay, well, I get the gist of it. Pan. All Nikola investors should be proud of themselves because they improved Trevor's lifestyle drastically. And what are you improving, Pan? Come on. Okay, I just lost his comment. There we go. I was way behind on the comments. Hold to the moon. Deep's talking about trucks being charged for the next day. We'll need to have redundancy for chargers coming to work. Finding trucks not charged is a problem. They will need backup, not end of days. Nice view. Yeah, that was a nice view. Got a couple smiley faces. Sorry about that. It's my message before it's done. Sasha, I don't know what that was referencing. Diamond hands means to hold on to stock no matter what adversity it faces. Okay. Thank you, Chris. See, I'm ignorant on things like that. These are not diamond hands. Though I have held things until I was the bag holder. Let's see. Anybody else wonder if those production trucks we saw come off the line were already delivered without a formal announcement or still in the warehouse waiting? I don't think that they're in there. I think we would have seen them pop out here and there. Like we've seen the number 8 truck numerous times. We've seen the number 12 truck. That truck doesn't have a number on it, but it does have a plate. We did catch that. It's got a manufacturer's plate. JKM, I had so many pops to sell on. I can't time the short trades in and out of stock. Just know I'm holding on for dear life. My conviction is deep with Nicola. Won't be selling for years. Yeah, I know. It's impossible to find the pops. And I'm just never good. Ellie's here. Sorry, Bear, I'm late. Thank you, Ellie. Claims to be my number 1 fan. JKM, up to 25. Up 2, yes. I'm way behind on these chats. I got another diamond hands. Definition: I need to see the numbers on hydrogen for cost, range, etc. to become a believer. So far, being negatory on the idea. Believe Tony Seba, Kathy, Elon so far. Not a troll. Mark, take a look at what Sandy Monroe has to say about hydrogen. He did an interview, I think it was back in April of last year, where he talked about why hydrogen will be better. Mr. Bogue, yeah, my neighbor works for Peterbilt, and this is one of the things he mentioned is a problem. JK, manufacturing capability and demand will not be the issue for Nicola. Brady said this is an interview. It will be capturing critical components. Yes. Mr. Bogues, thanks, Bear. Great video. And don't care. Thank you for the super chat. Nicola will hit 20 at the end of January. Believe me, I'm good in predictions. Well, I hope so. That would be awesome. JJE, not this is regarding something else, different comment. Not true. Elon Musk did a pretty good job of getting rid of the founders of Tesla and replacing it with his name. Okay. Well, we're just going back and forth on that. Mark with the super chat, and I think that's a thumbs up. Yep, it's a thumbs up. Looks like it came out of a nose. Any truth to rumors some trays are on a cargo ship to Hamburg? I have not heard anything about that, but I think it's possible. So reefer units are in continuous communication with the companies. I'm sure that these BEVs and FCVs will be the same. They'll need charging redundancy. They do. They need a lot of charging redundancy in ways to remotely access them and fix things on the fly. Don't care. Or Deep says to don't care. Give me the Powerball numbers then. Oh, I already got them. I got them right here, but I'm not giving them away. Matthew Chaser, where's Lucid, buddy? Lucid video will be on Wednesday. We do a live stream of the Lucid factory. And let's see here. And is Lucid video today? No, sorry, Matthew. But we will have a Lucid video. We do have a Lucid video coming. And that will be out a little bit later today. We did a flyover of Lucid. So just stay tuned for that. Alex says, it'll be good to know your opinion. I bought in 50 per stock. Any idea when it'll be back to this price? Just opinion. Thank you in advance. You bought in at 50. If I bought in at 50, I would just be holding on to it and not focus on it. I can't tell you when it's going to be at 50, but I do think we've got a while before it's in that range. Now Nicola needs more actions for his credibility. Yeah, they do. I think we're going to see some in the next couple of weeks. We do need to see more trucks rolling out. If they can produce two, then they can produce a lot more. JJ says, Kim also mentioned that Anheuser-Busch and TTIs will get fuel cells in January. That is a fact check true. We were told that a Anheuser-Busch truck was going to be ready in December. And we were told that by someone who visited us while we were flying. But that didn't happen. So I've got to assume that truck is very close to completion. And the reason it didn't come out was probably due to what Kim was saying about supply. Matthew, Bear, do you have stock in Nikola? At this time, I do. And we talked about it earlier in the video, sitting at about 1,200 shares. There have been times when we've been flying over where I had none. And I've bought and I've sold. It's just something to play with. And at this point, I'm hoping that we get a pop soon, because I've got 1,200 shares that are waiting to be popped. Let's see now, Nicola. Let's see what happens with the hydrogen production. That is in the works with partners, and that is going to happen with their main partner on that. I think is probably TC Energy, which is a very large company. Thanks, Bear. Good job. At the end of the year, probably it will hit 50 again. I'd like to see it. Of course, I would like to see it. Yeah, he said he's got 1,200. Oh, he's selling. Let's see. I won't sell until 2030, and then I'll only sell some, not all. The same. Good luck to you and me. Glenn Phillips, thank you for the super chat. And Glenn says, January 14th, 1 year anniversary of your Nikola videos. You've done more for the company than their media company. Bear. Yeah, that might be true. I'm not big on taking credit, but I think it has helped them. I just wanted to go out there and fly and show things that we could show that might have interest to people. And whether or not it helped them, I mean, okay, probably, but it's not like I want anything from them. And I don't want anyone to ever say that I saved them, because they're working hard to produce something that I never could have produced. And that is what is ultimately going to be a success for them. IML says Glenn gets it. And then true. And then spam. Matthew Iverson, I got 31 shares. Should I buy more, you think? Yeah, I mean, if that's where the level that you're at, get what you can. But don't take stock advice from me. Mr. Bogues, Barry's done a lot. Nicola should have hired them, or at least they'll pay for the cost. Thanks, Barry. You have done so much. Well, I unless it was like some crazy amount of money, I don't think I'd accept. We are trying to remain unbiased. If we had flown out there and the place was falling apart, nothing was being done, we would have said we don't see anything. Just like we didn't see anything there today. We're not trying to hide the fact that they're not working today. And I can't really tell you why. I thought the holiday was celebrated last week, but maybe it wasn't. So we just would prefer to remain unbiased, and unless it was crazy amount of money, I wouldn't be their shill. Let's see. Jeep says, I thought TA truck stops were supposed to get hydrogen stations. Any news on this? They are supposed to get a couple stations, and I think there was one or two that was going to be a trial, but I haven't heard any news on whether or not it's being constructed, whether they're doing the battery or the fuel cell part yet. I thought it might have been the battery. Right now is the time to buy more. That's what Don't Care says. That very, very well possible. All right. Well, we've gone through the video twice now. Anybody's got any other questions, bring them on. If not, we'll be doing the live stream with Brian, Fast Charging with B&B, tomorrow, and that will be at 4 p.m. Pacific. And then we'll have another live stream for you Lucid guys, and that will be on Wednesday, probably around the same time, maybe a little bit earlier. Just depends on our schedule and getting our editing and everything together. Takes a little bit of time. So I want to thank everyone for being here. I appreciate all the guys that showed up. I appreciate the super chats. If you get a chance, please take a look at our Patreon account and sign up. We've got 5 different levels. 5. See the diamond hands? 5 of them. I have 5 fingers in 5 different levels. So please take a look at that. And hope you guys have had a great new year. And like I said, we'll be back tomorrow. So thanks for watching. We're going to